Hey there, my beautiful mamas, and welcome back to Momplex. This is your no BS space where we really talk about the things that are on our minds as moms, the things that we're really dealing with on the day-to-day basis. Because while we're always looking out and thinking about our future and thinking about our kids' future, it's the day-to-day muck that we're trying to manage and deal with that really creates our lifestyle as a mom. And so I want to always share things that have helped me tremendously and hope that you will apply them to your life. Look, Momplex, this is a space where I really want to help us figure out life as moms and as people, because I don't want us to ever just power through our days with burnout and regret. I never want us to wish a day away. But I'm not here to tell you how to be a mom, and I'm definitely not here to tell you that you're doing it wrong, because you're not. I'm just here to share things that have helped me. So we never wish a day away with our kiddos, and we don't complain our way through it, and we don't lower our standards and just live under I guess this is just how moms feel, because you and your kids are too freaking important not to be enjoying every moment that you have. So today's episode is really important. It's actually not just an episode. This is a movement. If you listen to it, you're going to immediately feel an incredible shift and see that there is a way for you to do it all and feel good at the same time. So let's dive in. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You finally sit down for 5 freaking minutes, maybe with your coffee that you have nuked 20 times already. You let your eyes close and oh my gosh, you do absolutely nothing. And then the second that breath lets out of your body, your bitch brain, yep, you know the one, starts to creep in there and saying, wait, you should be folding laundry. You should be answering emails. You should be productive. There's so much to do. And so you don't even sit down for 60 seconds. You're up and at it. You're already pushing through, literally dragging yourself out from that seat, even though you were exhausted, because your brain's like, no, we have too much to do. We have no time to rest. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why does our brain treat rest like it's something bad? Like it's something that we have to earn, like it's going to cost us everything that we want. Like we have to prove we deserve it. And this is not a you thing. This is a trend. This is a trend that I see. I did it myself. I see it amongst moms. It's a society. I mean, even the way my husband works, they're working nonstop, traveling nonstop. If anybody takes a day off, everybody's like, oh, I can't believe they took a day off. I used to feel so guilty for resting. I would only do it when I was basically battling pneumonia and looked like I was roadkill from lack of sleep. And people would say, time out, Scotty, I don't even want you around me. You're dealing with something. You need to go and rest. But here's what I've since learned. You don't have to earn rest. And if you're waiting for permission, I'm happy to give it to you. I really want that to come from you, but I know it's hard. But I want you to actually think about this for a second. Rest is a power move. Rest is fuel. We all know the power of sleep. I mean, there's 1,000 podcasts. Probably my favorite is the Huberman Lab. He did a great series on the importance of sleep. It's long, it's dense, but the way that the experts talk about it, it really does, it becomes more than just fluff. And I mean, we're moms. From the time our kids get home, what are we doing? We're trying to create a very productive and structured sleep schedule, right? Because we know that's where they grow and heal and regenerate. In fact, when our kids are at school, the only way they can actually retain the information that they learn that entire day is if they have a good night's sleep. And every doctor will tell you, every stress manager will tell you, every mindset person will tell you, anybody that's trying to help you create change in your life will say, hydrate, eat real foods, and get some sleep. So I know we all know that, but why are we constantly pushing, always doing, always putting ourselves last and never learning how to rest as a mom? And then what happens is when life throws us a curveball, which it will, we are actually running on fumes. And so then we're not able to help anybody through the curveball as well as we would have had we been resting, right? And so that is why when you ask yourself, are you serious? Like, I cannot believe life is doing this to me right now. I cannot handle one more thing. How many times have you said that? Life is always going to dish out one more thing. And it's not doing that because it hates you or it wants you to suffer. Those things that it's dishing out, those are actually there for you to face and work through to help you get to your highest life, I promise, but we're going to save that for a whole nother episode. So when you can learn to be a rest and be a busy mom, that's the formula. That's going to help you handle and enjoy life. It's learning how to take care of your kids and yourself at the same time. So today we're going to untangle this noise. We are going to finally shut down that guilt, and we're going to flip the meaning of rest in our life from guilty pleasure into your most powerful tool. I mean, how good does that sound? So I want you to buckle up. If you're listening to this episode, I want you to just allow yourself to receive it. You're here for a reason. And if you do, this one's going to change the way you see rest forever, which will change your life. Now, look, I used to be the queen of never stopping. When my babies were little, people would say, Scotty, nap when the baby naps. And I'd nod and smile like, okay, sure. Yeah, that's not me. You nap when your babies nap. Okay. I'm going to get way ahead of you in life. And second I put my kids down to sleep, I would immediately start folding the laundry, making homemade baby food. Yep, I did that. Picking up the toys, even though my kids were going to wake up and bring all the toys back out again, answering emails, trying to catch up on my to-do list. I would work out. I would plan dinner. I would call everyone I knew under the sun to try and catch up. I would literally do anything except resting, because in my mind, rest meant if I stop, I'll fall behind. A good mom never rests. She powers through. I should be doing more. And then what happened? I crashed hard, really hard. One day I found myself snapping at my kids over the fact that they had left the milk out on the counter. And I was losing my mind because I just wasn't even in my own body anymore. And then I had this moment of clarity. I'm like, this isn't me. I love my kids. I've never been a yeller, but I'm so freaking tired. I can't even function. I don't feel like myself. I mean, I understand when we bring our babies home, we're keeping them alive for those first 3 months, right? They call that the fourth trimester. And so we are learning to live on fumes. But what I would love for them to further explain, like the fifth trimester actually is about us, because you're carrying this baby for 9 months. You go have the baby in the hospital, or you go adopt the baby, or this baby comes into your life, however it comes into your life. And like the first 3 months, it's like having a puppy. You're just trying to keep it up and keep it alive and keep it from falling, sticking its fingers in the electrical sockets or eating something it shouldn't. But no one ever gives us this moment to say like, hey, at the same time, you're also learning a new identity. You're learning that you're not just you anymore. You're you squared. You're you as a mom. And so at the same time that you're learning how to change diapers, do nap schedules, breastfeed or feed your babies, and learn this whole new schedule, it's also important for us to also say, wait, I'm still me. I'm still here. How can I take care of myself as I'm learning to take care of this new thing in my life? It's like I always think about us as like living on this plane where we've got everything in our life, and then we become a mom. We just pile that on top of what we already have. The goal is to see if it can work together as a puzzle. And that's when I realized like I am not liking the way I feel. I feel like I'm running my life like a never-ending to-do list. And I didn't like not having patience. I didn't like always being in pain. I didn't like waking up with my eyes feeling swollen. I mean, the best way I can equate it is I kept waking up feeling like I had had a bottle of tequila the night before, but I never did. And so I know a lot of moms who feel the same way. Like we juggle everything, we take care of everyone, and instead of resting, we just push and power through thinking this makes me a better mom. And of course, if you do want to just hit the pause button and take a breath, that's when the bitch brain comes in. That's when the guilt kicks in. You sit down and your brain whispers, you should be doing something. You take a break and suddenly comparison kicks in because a mom on Instagram just baked gluten-free muffins with cacao, raw zucchini, and chocolate chips, and you threw together a PB&J. This is why we can't rest, not because we don't need it, but because we've been trained to feel guilty. Now, guilt is a lie. It is your bitch brain lying to you. I'm not gaslighting you because guilt is so hard and it's so real, but it has no place in life as a mom. Guilt does not belong in motherhood. We have been taught that there's no rest for the wicked. There is a freaking song about this. You've been taught that you can sleep when you're dead. Whoever said this can go F themselves. And the busier you are, the better you are. Our worth is not based on what we do. Our worth is not based on how productive we are. And by the way, there is no mom race. You are not racing against another mom. If you choose not to rest because you want to get more stuff done on your to-do list, the only person you're racing against is yourself. It doesn't matter what the other moms are doing. That was a big shift for me. I would feel so guilty about resting because I thought I'd fall behind or I wouldn't be as good as a mom as that mom, down the street. Until eventually my body was like, girl, we can be amazing, but we can't be shit if we're fucking tired. So you know what is true? Rest isn't lazy, it's necessary. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. And the most successful, most powerful, and most influential people in the world, they rest. They rest. In fact, I'm going to mess this up. I don't want to quote incorrectly, but I feel like there was this famous, I need to look it up for you, but there was this famous guru and they literally took a 2-hour nap every single day. Whatever. I mean, let's just think about your own baby for a second. When they get sleep and when they take naps, how are they as a human versus the days that they don't? You're basically the same. We just don't get to cry and have meltdowns in the grocery store anymore. So if you're exhausted and you're running on fumes and burned out, I want you to think about this for a second. Are you showing up for your kids as the best version of yourself? And, excuse me, if your kid was living your life, feeling how you felt when you woke up, going through your day with your mindset and your guilt and refusing to rest or see the doctor or sit down to eat a meal, what would you say to them? If they woke up every single day with a headache, felt like they had no time to eat, sleep, or see a doctor, would you come in and just say, oh yeah, this is how life is supposed to be? Hell no. You would say, wait a second, time out. We need to restructure some things in the day because I want you to still get everything you want to get done, but we need to also build in sleep. And that's what I need you to hear. If you don't prioritize your well-being, no one else will either. As Mel Robbins says, no one is coming, right? And if you're not caring for yourself, who does that help? No one. Not you, not your family, not your kids. So let's flip the script. Instead of saying, I feel guilty for resting, I want you to try and say, resting allows me to show up fully in my life. Resting is my power move. Resting helps me have the energy, the patience, and the power to help my kids through their stuff. I mean, honestly, one of the best things that rest helped me do helps me get my shit together so then I can go out there and help my kids get their shit together. Resting also shows our kids that we believe our well-being is important and we can be the best mom and the best me at the same time. So let's make it real. How do you actually quiet the noise and rest without guilt? The first thing, we got to declutter that mental space. I mean, pick up that phone. I want you to go on Instagram and I want you to mute or unfollow accounts that trigger comparison in you. I want you to set boundaries around advice you didn't ask for. Honestly, I got a ton of advice from parents and friends telling me this is how it's supposed to be. And I think it's nice. We always want to be polite and listen, but we don't always have to apply what other people are doing to our life. We want to make sure that, is this something that I would do had I not heard that advice from them? And then stop overloading your brain with books, podcasts, well, except mine, courses, and everybody else telling you how to live. Your gut already knows. You have that mom tuition. Like, let's tap into that. The second thing, start your day with you, not your phone. Before checking emails and social media, check in with yourself. Ask, what do I need today? Give yourselves 5 minutes of silence before the world starts shouting at you. 3, make rest part of your routine. Rest is like brushing your teeth. It's not optional. 10-minute walk alone. No phone, no podcast, just breathing. Lie down with your eyes closed for 5 minutes. Pick one night a week where you shut your laptop at 7 p.m. and do something that recharges you. The fourth thing is rewire the guilt. Every time that bitch brain starts to speak up and that guilt creeps in, remind yourself, rest is not selfish. It's making me stronger. And you're not doing nothing. You're recharging. And whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. And I think that's probably one of the best things I always go through. It's, I can choose to go work out or I can choose to sit down and rest. It's not saying that I'll never work out ever again. But guess what? If I rest, that workout I do later will be 10 times more productive for me. And the fifth thing is power up. Here's the truth. You're not a machine. You're not a human doing. You're a human being. And you are setting an example. You don't have to prove your worth by running yourself into the ground. You're already enough, and you're not in a mom race, right? So what if starting today, you allowed yourself to rest without shame? What if you trusted your gut? What if you treated yourself like you were your own child, right? What if you came up to you and said, I'm so tired. Is it okay if I rest? You'd say, abso-freaking-lutely. What if you stopped waiting for the right time, because there is no right time, and started learning how to take care of yourself right now at the same time you're learning how to take care of your kids? That's the shift. That's the freedom. And you deserve that. So do your kids. One of the best shifts this made was not even for me. It was for my kids. I used to push myself to burnout, always bitching about how tired I was, about how bad I looked, about how bad I felt. But then I would follow that up with but I have no time to take care of me because I'm taking care of my kids, which my kids then heard. And so they would think, I'm making my mom miserable. And by the way, being a mom looks miserable. My daughter actually said that to me. She said, I don't think I want to be a mom because you look miserable all the time. That is when I realized how I take care of myself, how I see myself, and the choices I make for myself ultimately become the choices my kids make for themselves. So even if you don't feel like you're worth the rest, which we are going to work on, at least I want you to think about, are they worth it? Okay. So I want you to think about this. I want you to put this into action this week. I want you to take one guilt-free break, 10 minutes just for you, or at least book that doctor's appointment, right? When that guilt creeps in, shut it down and remind yourself, rest is my power move. Rest actually helps me show up for my kids better. And if this episode hits home, please leave me a 5-star review and send it to another mom who needs this reminder, because the more we can share this out. Look, I ask for those reviews and the shares, but not for vanity likes. I'm doing this because I believe that moms are the starting point. We are the nucleus, and everything depends on us. Everything comes from us. Everything comes through us and filters. We are the engine. We are the most important, and we are the model. We are setting the example and the tone for our kids. I find it so empowering to think about that. But that means that we have to support each other to make these changes. We have to support each other in these mindset shifts. So rather than sitting around getting coffee complaining about, no, I'm more tired. No, I'm more tired. No, I am a better mom because I haven't eaten, slept, or taken time for myself. I mean, I used to sit around and I remember thinking to that mom that was like, oh, I got to shower today and I got to go on that girls trip. I'm like, must be nice. You must have easy kids. You must have this. And I never had it more wrong. The whole goal, I believe, if we wake up every day feeling amazing, then we can enjoy our moments with our family and our kids more than ever. And if we are enjoying our kids, they're walking out with this subconscious knowing that my mom doesn't just love me. She likes me. She likes being around me. She likes helping me. And whenever I walk in the door, she's so excited to see me. I saw that shift when I started treating myself with respect and started putting my needs first. I then had the patience, the energy, and the capacity to be at my best for my kids when they walked in the door versus dreading it because I was so freaking tired. It's a choice. How you choose to live your life is a choice. And it starts with your belief. So if we can shift this belief that rest isn't something that we should be ashamed of, but it's actually a power move, it will affect how we show up in our life. It will affect our entire lifestyle, our habits, and our results, and how we show up for our kids. So that's why I ask you to leave a review. And that's why I ask you to share this with a mom. Because if we can all support each other in this is how life changes. This is how we break generational hangups. This is how we shift from feeling like we need to wait for another time until we can actually start to wake up feeling like our best selves. Because when we rest, we rise. And I want to see you rise, mama. You've got this. I love you. I'm here for you. Go out there and schedule in that nap.